Unterseher and Valerie Lehman. We caught them as on their way to golf lessons today, and they have a test in their golf class, and we'd like to ask them a few questions if we could. And Sandy, I understand you have a story to relate to us. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It was the time that I was trying out for Freedom recommendation by Pete, which I probably shouldn't have taken, but I did. And one of the things they had us do was sing Jesus Loves Me to test how your voice sounded. You were supposed to get to the chorus and hold out the note while I was singing along, and all of a sudden Pete just got up, threw his notebook down, and started laughing, bopping around the room, laughing really hard. Everybody was laughing, and I didn't know what was wrong, and it hit me that I had sang, instead of however it's supposed to go, I still don't know, I sang, I am strong and he is weak. And then I was doing it again because they finally gained their composure and said that it was okay and for me to sing this again, and I was really determined that I wasn't going to do it again, and I was singing along and I heard myself sing the same thing again. So they just kind of let me out of that one and we went on, and as you can see, I didn't make Freedom.
Well, do you have anything that you'd like people to remember you by?
Probably my laugh.
Your laugh?
Yeah, that'd probably be about it.
Val, do you want to say something over here?
Not particularly.
What's your overall impression of the food this year at the Bartlesville Wesleyan College?
Well, as the saying goes, motor oil is motor oil.
John!
Food service is food service.
Food service is food service. You, is there anything that you'd like to be remembered by, or?
No, not really.
Truly inspired words.
You can definitely
He really
hit a good
can.
golf
I can
ball.
hit a
And
golf
if we don't
ball,
go,
really.
we're
Fuzzy
gonna be so
Zeller.
late.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to get to our test and finish this year out right.
Okay, I'll let you guys go and finish off the year strong. I wish the best of luck to you in your testing test today. Your skills test. Is that what we're looking at?
That's it.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and then hopefully that you'll graduate from here someday and go on to be famous people, so I can say I knew you. All right?
Thanks,
Brad.
Yep. Bye.
See ya.
We're here. Thank you. We're here with two freshmen completing their first year of college, and quickly, if you could tell us your first impression of Claudia Fly.
First impression.
And while you're answering that question in such a grand manner, can you think about, sum up the food at Bartlesville Wesleyan College in one word?
Repulsive.
That's a good word.
It leaves much to be desired, that's
Leaves much
for sure.
to be desired.
Kind of like Claudia. No, I love Claudia. I love Claudia too.
Okay. Now, if you were to be remembered for something at Bartlesville Wesleyan College, what would that be? What would you want it to be?
It'd be her laugh for her.
What?
Erin, do you have anything you'd like to be remembered for?
Hope something good. Help me out.
You're a standing work for odd.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's the laugh that we
Yeah, that's the laugh.
No.
Okay, since that's not going a lot of different places, who's your favorite professor, or do you have one?
Haida.
Can you
Ken
imitate
Haida.
him?
You want to golf?
He said, should we imitate him? I said, should we golf? He golfs in class.
Or he bats, you know?
I see.
Imaginary, of course.
He tells stupid jokes that make no sense.
like Professor Rogers maybe.
Worse.
Okay. Well, are you looking forward to are you coming back next year, Erin?
No.
You're not coming back? And Michelle, you're not
No.
coming back either. So, hey. Nice knowing you. Hey, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Bye
sure.
now. We're here playing word association games with Jennifer Schmidt. Jennifer, I want you to say the first word that comes to your mind when I say these things, okay?
Okay.
Greg Spielman.
Boyfriend.
That's creative. Claudia Fly.
The lady who works in that office.
Gee, this is getting great. When I say water, you say,
Drink.
oh, this is great. This is great. How about
Sorry.
BWC?
School.
I tell you what. All right, well, okay. Do you have a favorite professor?
Yeah.
Who is it?
I guess you could say Dr. Fillingham.
And can you do an imitation of him?
Yeah. No, I can't. I don't know. He's got that distinctive laugh. You know,
What should I be remembered for?
What would you like to be remembered for here at BWC?
I don't know. What would anybody want to be remembered for? What do you want to be remembered for?
I don't know. That's a hard question.
Brad, what would you like to be remembered for?
My fun-loving, easygoing personality.
Of course.
And now yours?
My free-spirited personality.
There you go. Over here on my right, to my immediate right, is Angelique Samuels. And Angelique, please tell us where you're from.
Belize.
Please. Now, when I say to you, freshman, what do you think?
You're students.
Okay. Angelique, do you have a favorite professor? Or a favorite staff member?
A favorite staff member? Pete Wood.
Okay, and why is Pete your favorite staff member?
I lived with him for 6 months. I had to like him.
It's the me.
I was with his family.
I see. All right. Well, Angelique, if you were to be remembered by everyone here at BWC for something, what would you want that to be?
My friendliness.
Your friendliness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to say to anybody?
Huh?
Any words of wisdom that you'd like to share, or any salutations in which you'd like to impart?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. There you have it.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, Bob.
We're with Rylan and
Laughs. I mean, you're like at the Olympics. All she did was just laugh.
we're with Rylan and Amy. And Rylan, could you please tell us when you first saw Amy, what was your impression of Amy Garrettson?
I thought she was truly beautiful.
Ooh. And Amy, what was your first impression of Rylan when you first saw Rylan?
Breathtaking.
Breathtaking. So how would you describe your relationship thus far?
I think they already have.
I think it's a very good friendship.
A very good friendship. Do you see yourself someday in the future looking back at BWC and saying these were great years?
Yes, that's a very generic question. Oh, that's some good questions.
Yes or no question?
I know. I realize it's yes or no after answer. What's the plan from here on, Rylan?
Well, nothing's set, in concrete, but I'd like to go on to medical school, hopefully become a physician someday. I'd like to set up a practice here in the States, but I would also like to go overseas.
And Amy, are you planning on coming back next year?
Yes, I am.
And Rylan, are you planning on staying close to Bartlesville?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
What's the best memory you're going to take from Bartlesville, Ryan? From your college days?
Epsilon birthday beatings.
You want to describe those?
No.
If you wanted to be remembered for something, Amy, what would it be?
Cheerfulness.
Cheerfulness. Okay.
Any messages, anyone?
Hi, Mom.
Mom?
Good luck to Randall. Next 3 years, 4 years. About it.
Okay. Hi, Alisa.
Hi, Brad.
Alisa, describe for us in one word the men at BWC.
Men?
Yeah.
What men?
Okay. All right. Woo.
I guess I'm missing them.
Okay. Another word. Describe the food.
There is no word to describe the food.
Stop being cooperative, is she?
It's not memorable.
Do you have any outstanding memories here at BWC?
Well,
In relation to friends or dorm life or something that happened to you in the dining commons?
well, nothing ever happens to me in the dining commons. It was really fun the night I came home and I was really, really tired and found my lingerie strewn all over my room with toilet paper. That's pretty memorable.
Did you ever figure out who done that? Who did
No,
that?
I assumed it was one of my girls in Cottage A.
And you've been an RA for a year now, is that
A year
right?
now. Believe it or not.
Sum up, if you could, in one word, your feelings towards the RA position.
Interesting.
And an enjoyable experience?
Yeah.
Everything you thought it'd be and more?
Definitely more. Everything I thought it would be.
Claudia.
Tell me in one word or describe Claudia for your first impressions of Claudia for us.
My first impressions?
Yeah,
My
your
very first impressions
very first
3
one.
years ago?
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy. That was my first impression. I met her at church.
And was she the
thought-
boisterous, loving person that we all have grown to love and know?
No. Not at first. I
Was
was
she
like,
just, like,
I'm going to work
bullheaded?
with this woman.
Stubborn?
She just wasn't very friendly.
Okay. Gee, imagine that.
That was my first impression of her.
So, how's your impression of Claudia changed over the last 3 years that you've been here?
Oh, it's definitely improved. She's
Greatly or just
Greatly.
small?
No, it's greatly improved.
So you've
She's-
grown to respect and know Claudia as the wonderful female woman that she is?
The wonderful woman that she is.
The wonderful woman that she is. Claudia, we're going to show this to Claudia Terry, so.
You dedicate.
Yeah, anything you'd like to say
Did
to
you
friends?
just call me Terry?
Yes. Alisa,
Dedications to friends.
See,
Yeah.
you started with Terry a long time ago, so.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to some of your friends out there?
Hi, Mom.
Anything you'd like
I love
to
that.
anything you'd like to be remembered for here at BWC?
No,
Just alive and well
I'm alive
and
and
moving
well.
on in life.
Moving on in life.
Bob. We're with Sarah Fisher in the admissions office, and Sarah, could you please explain to us how your brother got the nickname the Moocher?
You know how some students get named most successful or, nice things like that. Well, in his yearbook, he got named Biggest Moocher.
That's great.
Why?
Why? Why?
Well, because he's always borrowing things from people, not usually returning them. And
So he's the Mooch.
that's just the way he is.
Steve, you're the Moocher. Sarah,
Do you, sir?
what was your nickname, Sarah?
I don't let him do that to me, you know.
What
My
was your
nickname?
in high
I don't
school?
want to talk about it.
We may have to go talk to Steve about this one. But, Sarah, let's ask you another question. Let's delve into another area of your life here. Scott Brown. What immediately comes to your mind when we say the name Scott Brown? Scott Brown, by the way, is who she's dating. For all you children out there, Sarah, later in life, that
You're gonna
maybe
have-
she married somebody
I'm
else.
going to have to edit this.
Okay. Well, Sarah, tell us in one word or less your impressions of the food here at BWC.
Well, I'm not a very... Oh, one word or less?
Well,
I already messed up.
it's okay. Try again.
Decent.
Decent.
Yeah.
How about, what were your first impressions when you first came to BWC and you first met Claudia Fly? What was your impression of Claudia?
One word.
Claudia.
No, this isn't very nice.
That's okay.
It could be if you're nice.
Okay, let me think of a nice word.
It's not a nice word you thought of.
It wasn't a bad impression. It was, she just seemed very independent, maybe kind of domineering.
Forceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the nice word you were
But
going to say?
she seemed pleasant. Really. She
your-
helpful. She
Has
seemed
your
helpful.
opinion changed at all over the last couple of years?
I've gotten to know her,
Do you like Claudia, Sarah?
I do. I don't want you to get the wrong impression.
Of course, we don't have the wrong impression.
Oh, you do. I know I gave you the wrong impression.
We're live with Sarah working in the admissions office. She's probably the only one in this office
Well,
that
is
doesn't
Glenda
know.
there? Person sounded sick.
Birthday girl, Sarah. Are you proud of our country?
Uh-huh.
She is.
Sarah, what do you like best about this job?
The nice people I work with.
Do you get paid well?
Minimum, if you call that well. Do you have any idea where she is? Okay, thank you. Bye.
Sarah, when you
What?
graduated and move on in life, what would you want to be remembered for here at BWC?
You're asking such hard questions.
What's the most memorable experience you have here at college?
Oh, well, this time we pulled a prank on Dorm 74. That's probably the most memorable.
What did you guys do? And do people know that you pulled this prank? It was you that did it by now?
I don't think so.
What did you do, Sarah?
Do you remember the cookie raid thing last year?
No. I'll take care of that.
Well, we went in at night, we wore dark clothes. We got in the yearbook.
You did?
Yes. And we put sugar water on the in the bathrooms and tied pantyhose on in between the door knobs and left cookies.
Who helped you
We
do
banged
this?
on the doors when we left. I can't tell who else.
You can't tell us who else was a part of this escapade?
I shouldn't have even told you that I was involved.
But your picture was in the yearbook, was it not?
Yeah, but you couldn't recognize me because I was in black.
Oh, I see.
Hopefully, nobody recognized.
All right. Well, do you have anything you'd like to say to all your friends out there that are going to be watching this? Something think 20 years from now, what would you say to your children? Look right in there and say, children, what would you say?
I can't think of profound things that quick.
That's-
I have to think about them, okay? Cut this out.
Hi, kids.
There's any mystery about it after all. You don't? Well, I do. Anyway, I don't see how they could ever have been such a blundering honest to go and bury the wrong child. But don't mention it where the family can hear of it. Heaven knows they have heartbreaking troubles enough without adding this. Well, I believe I have got material enough for the present. I'm very much obliged to you for the pains you have taken. But I was a good deal interested in that account of Erin Burr's funeral. Would you mind telling me what particular circumstance it was that made you think Burr was such a remarkable man?
Ready? Hi, Bob. We're in the BWC dining hall right now, and we're talking with Tracey and Missy, and they're going to share just a little bit about their school experience here. What is something very memorable about this year that you really don't want to tell us right now?
Wow. Has to do with the dorm. We won't mention any names, but they're sitting over the table over there. And, well, we had an experiment till about 5 o'clock in the morning. And everybody else didn't like it. That's all I could say. How about you? It was an awakening experience.
Missy, I understand that you work here in the dining hall.
Do I have to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the truth thing. What exactly is in shepherd's pie?
Oh, that's a good question. It's different each time.
Share with us a little bit about what is the worst thing that happened in the kitchen.
Oh, the worst thing that happened in the kitchen is when the workers get really tired and cranky and we start throwing things at each other. And, well, sometimes dishes get broke, but there's nothing, and then we laugh about it, and then it gets to be a better time.
What dish would you not recommend that people eat?
That's, sometimes sour cream surprise is different each time I wouldn't touch it. Chicken's cooked different each time. I don't know. It's hard to say. You have to be picky each time.
Tracey, have any special memories you want to share with everyone?
No, not really.
Well, there you have it, Bob. We're done. Okay, ready?
You're on.
Hi, Bob. We're with Bob and Sarah now, different Bob. And I have a couple of questions about you guys. When is the date for your wedding?
Well, you see,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
to officially become engaged first. But before that, we had to officially start dating. But we had this joke going on, and I think the only people that really worried about it are she and I.
And what are you worried about?
Children.
Are you afraid that they'll be mutant or something?
Oh boy.
I'm afraid that they'll be like me.
This. Okay, I really don't like this.
Where would you like to get married? Sarah.
Somewhere where she's not.
Naval Academy.
Alrighty. If you could... No. Now, if you could describe this year with one word, what would it be?
Busy.
Sarcastic.
If you could describe your relationship with one word, what would it be?
Non-existent.
Ditto.
Do you have trouble communicating or something?
No.
No problems communicating, nah. Why am I sweating? Why am I sweating here, man?
Yes, why are you?
Naval Academy, man.
Wish I could get closer.
Okay, do you guys have any special messages that you would like everyone to remember you by, or anyone you want to thank or embarrass?
I like to embarrass Chuck Ross.
Go ahead.
I've seen him in his underwear. Poor guy. Poor girl. Whoever marries him. Just a warning, ladies.
Sarah. No. Okie doke. That's it, Bob.
Yeah, I've had access to certain places. And
Such as?
people's room. Being coincidental that one morning Lance Leonard woke up in front of the women's dorm taped to his bed. And that's kind of a neat or the top experience of the year that at least I can relate. It was so funny because Lance kept reminding everybody he knew who it was, but he couldn't. And we couldn't relate to him. We knew that he couldn't because he was blindfolded the whole time, and we were blindfolded, or had hoods over our faces as well. Excuse me, they had blindfolds over their faces as well. And the whole series began. We had planned that eight or nine of those guys got together and left my room. I had nothing to do with it, honest. Left my room and went into Lance's room. I don't know how they got in there. Being an RA, they must have borrowed my keys or something. I went in there. His roommate had conveniently left for the evening, and they began taping Lance to his bed as he began to scream. And they put the gag over his mouth. And the high point, I think, was when he finally relaxed and understood they were going to tape him to his bed.
Can you remember who did this?
They continually wrapped it up, 4 rolls of duct tape. I'll have you know. And he could not move. And it was so funny because we picked up the bed. It was all silent. Nobody said a word. Well planned, good strategy. And they picked it up and they moved around. And he's like, "Oh no, you guys don't move me." And the funniest thing is when we turned him on his side, he's going, "You guys." We turned him on his side, moved him out the door. They moved him out the door, all the way across campus. And not Claudia's office. Please, not Claudia's office. Anything but Claudia's office. We got him over there. They got him over there. They ran back. And they all ran into my room. We closed the door and locked it. Well, I was terrified because less than 5 minutes later, they were enjoying the conversation, and knock came on the door, and they all thought it was Lance. So everybody's like, "Quiet, quiet." Everyone was quiet. Little did we realize that Scott Gillette had to go to work at 4:30 that morning. I mean, yeah, something like that. Anyway, the unique thing was how they escaped back to their own rooms. Each person disrobed. We had a little pile there, so they all looked like they went to the bathroom or something. And one by one, they left the room until they eventually...
So you're saying a bunch of guys walked out of your room at 5 o'clock in the morning without their clothes on?
But I didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
All right. Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, can you tell us exactly what that is all over the front of your shirt?
Strawberry.
Okie dokie, enjoying your dinner?
Yes.
Okie doke. Can you tell us anything? That's very pretty. Did you have fun this last year?
No,
Why not?
'cause her.
Her who?
Her.
I guess swing right around there. And Claudia, too.
Yeah.
What is it exactly that we're covering up right now? We have some kind of scandal that's under wraps right now that we're not supposed to know about?
Well,
It's a tough question, though, wasn't it, Jeff?
Tell us about something about her.
Go ahead.
we got in a paint fight,
You did.
and we wasted paint.
You wasted whose paint?
It was a sin.
You don't.
We wasted.
I won.
What about this year has been most memorable?
I don't have a memory. I can't remember.
I know. The carrots.
How do you feel about freedom, what you're going to do this summer and everything? Are you pretty excited about it? What are your goals?
I don't like it that we're not going to the Northwest. But otherwise, cool.
Are you saying that the people in the Midwest don't need to be ministered to as much as the people in the Northwest? Are we sensing a problem here with you and your attitude that maybe we need to take you off that group?
We're sensing a
Are
problem,
you
but
inflexible?
oh, I'm like this when it comes to flexible.
Well, that would be a good answer to some questions.
We'll add that in somewhere. Let's see. Do you have imitations of anyone, faculty, staff, or students?
Karen can do some of those.
Karen, you have some imitations?
So Karen can do voices. Do your voice. No. Do
Oh, Sandy Neal.
Okay.
That's Sandy Neal.
All right. Are we done? Okay. There you are. Now we're with Dr. Van, and he was the sponsor this year for student government. And Dr. Van, what are your impressions of this past year, and what are some highlights for you?
Well, I think that I was very keenly impressed with the SGO this year. I think they demonstrated tremendous leadership. One thing I appreciated is that when people were given jobs to do, they carried those jobs out. They could be depended upon. I think some of the highlights, of course, were the banquets. They did an excellent job with their banquets, and also the Halloween social event I thought was a very excellent event. Laura did a tremendous job in pulling together a good program. And interestingly, while we were waiting there for the second load to come, because they had to come in 2 loads, Dr. Mills took the bull by the horn, since we were out at the farm, of course, and he did a super job in playing games, various kinds of group games with the students, and it was really a very, very fun type evening, and I think all the students enjoyed it thoroughly. But above all, I think this has been a good SGO.
Great. Now we're going to talk with Trent Nettleton, who after the great job he did with SGO, Pizza Hut offered him a full-time job. Trent, what's the most exciting thing for you this past year with SGO?
Well, I think that the most exciting thing with SGO was probably twerp banquet, and going into it we had a lot of people that weren't excited about it and had said that last year it wasn't very good, and they were telling us, you know, not to expect a lot of people to come, and that, you know, it just hadn't been that fun. So we decided, instead of making it a stuffy formal banquet, to go and make it a luau and just make the whole concept just a fun games night where we'll have pictures and the women can pay for the guys. And we got food catered by someone besides Coronet, and so the budget things all came together in the end, and that was really exciting for us, and all the people had fun. So.
What do you think is your best quality that really made you catch Pizza Hut's eye?
Well, I think it was probably my good looks.
There you have it.
It says there's no story.
Okay.
I wonder what it would do to this microphone.
What? Okay, oh, we're on the air.
Oh.
Bob, now we're with 2 great politicians, Scott and Kris. And
She says that with such authority.
Yes, definitely. These are two gentlemen who have been very involved this past year in student government and will be involved for the rest of their lives in government, I'm sure. In fact, Kris, aren't you going to be president of the United States?
No, that's Scott.
Oh, you're going to be the president. You're just going to be a senator. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
I'll run
dokie.
Congress and he'll run the executive branch.
I see. What are some highlights for you guys this past year with SGO that you think are going to prepare your careers? Or, well, let's put this in the middle a little bit.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, thank you, Kris.
Mr. President?
I think I learned a lot how to work with people, getting things done. This SGO was a very productive SGO. We had a lot of activities, a lot of banquets, and it took a lot of organization. And that was one of our highlights this year with Kris as president. We had organizational skills, and we used them, and we got a lot done. I think that'll help me.
And the gentleman from Idaho?
That's me. What are the highlights of SGO? I'm just kidding. No, SGO was pretty good this year. Across the board, I think everything was better. Banquets were better, and the intramurals was better. Spiritual life was right up there with last year. Social life was definitely better this year. I think everybody, at least on executive council, no, I mean in this entire SGO, deserves a commendation. They did very well.
Right. Now on to a more serious issue. This is a problem that we've had this past year, and in fact in past years, and I just want to know what your recommendations are for the future. I'm talking about bigotry in ducks. And I know that when they first showed up, it was okay. We figured the black and white duck, they didn't want to talk to that one so much, and I figured maybe it was a personality thing. It wasn't racist. But then the Canadian geese came along, and they didn't talk with them, and I figured, well, maybe they just don't want to. Nobody really cared. But now Chuck is here, the chicken duck, and no one will talk to him. And I think that this is a problem that it's just gone on too far. And it's gone on long enough, too. And I think that something must be done, and you are the leaders of our campus.
Well,
and what are you going to do?
In introduct relations.
Yes.
And I've studied this thoroughly. The problem actually is in education of the ducks. When they're young, they're brought up in a community of ducks that all look the same. Then, as they grow older, they meet new ducks who don't eat the same food, don't have the same customs as them.
I see.
Now, this causes conflict, and they don't know how to react or adjust to this situation. With time, I believe that these ducks in a pond will learn to work together, and they'll actually be able to accomplish things and build a community.
But what are we doing now? What about this young duck that is the black and white duck's baby, and they're still not talking to him, and it's been about a year now?
How do you know they're not talking to him?
I watch. Everyone knows.
Do you
Just
know
look.
duck?
I speak duck fluently.
I thought so.
So what are we going to do about? What kind of committees?
Well, I think he's trying to duck the issue myself. It really quacks me up, but
I think you're being a lame duck.
yes, that's right. I'm on my way out. I'm a lame duck president.
Well, I guess we're never going to quite know the solution to this problem.
Terry, the viewers want to know about the lilac bushes.
Yeah. Kris has a great affinity for lilac bushes.
I like those lilac bushes over by the science building.
Why?
The science building?
Yes. Just because I like lilac bushes.
You don't want to know.
We have a message for everyone here.
Oh,
we do?
Go ahead.
2020, don't forget to vote.
That's right. If there still is a United States. That's all we have to say. You can shut the camera
Signing
off.
off, Van Meter and Townsend.
He's no JFK.
I'm just trying to remember if you're saying you're from Iowa now still, or no. You just switched over.
I'll be a new Iowa, yes.
Now we're with Lisa Zimmer, and she is from St. Paul, Minnesota. Pretty good there. Can we do that again?
No.
Okie doke. Lisa, can you say what you think about the school's food in one word? Sum it up.
After 4 years, I'd have to sum it up as saying same.
Same, great.
Yes.
Well, at least some things never change,
That's
right?
true.
It
That's
could get
true.
worse. Let me see. Is there any kind of good dirt you could give us on Rhonda Baldwin, your roommate?
She's a very unique person. She uses a different towel every day. She changes her sheets once a week. She irons everything under the sun, and
including what?
T-shirts, jeans.
Maybe her underwear.
Well, I haven't personally seen that, but I've heard
have seen
rumors. Okay, she does that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the little tiger striped ones that she dropped in the grass
She
one
would
time.
be lost
she left
without
them
her
outside.
iron. Yeah, she's very unique. Yeah.
Are there any particular memories that really stand out for you? Something really funny
about Rhonda,
or about anything? from your 4 years at BWC?
Oh, I spent a lot of time laughing, but probably the funniest thing that happened this year was riding with Rhonda at Sears parking lot, and she ran over a median and she didn't know it. So we hit it. And it was very funny. And she didn't even hurt her car either. So there was other witnesses. It was very funny.
Do you have any impressions of any faculty, staff, or students?
No, I'm not very good at remembering these kind of things. Maybe in the future I'll think of one.
You have impressions of them? Okay. Well, obviously, Lisa doesn't have a whole lot of opinions, and I guess she's a little brain dead, and she's about to graduate, and that would explain it.
That explains.
But anyway, she's a good girl, and we know that.
Yeah.
Can you do this in less than 4 points, please?
I can do it in 3 points.
Okay.
3 points.
3?
3 things that I would have to say that we all need to make it in life. 1, we all know the word from Claudia Fly herself, integrity. 2, from Dan Wood, we need a proper perspective on life. And 3, we need to be involved in spiritual authenticity. In other words, our inner lives need to match our outward lives. And we need to be doing, like D.L. Moody said, our character is what our life is in the dark. In other words, what are we doing in our private moments? Are we spending the time with the Lord that we need to spend? Mm-hmm. One message that I'd like to throw in there too. This is a little bit more on the humorous side and kind of an inside joke for 4 guys on campus. To the Lonely Hearts Club, I'd just like to say, keep the dream alive, keep the heart beating, and look for that fireplace.
And you're not going to explain that to the rest of us?
I can't explain that to the rest of us. But there'll be those that will appreciate and understand it.
How do you feel about spiritual life this year? How do you feel about the programs you had and the involvement you had also?
Spiritual life this year, I've heard a lot of people throw around the word apathy. I have to disagree. I think that it was a rough year, but what really happened was people got heavily involved in other areas, and started getting real busy in a lot of things. And I think a lot of it was time management, and I think that our society's finally caught up with us. The fact that we're all moving too quickly to slow down, and people needed to start spending some time on the proper things.
Great.
Any messages for anyone?
Tell her, Mike.
Tell who?
Chance to tell her.
Tell who? One message or 2 messages. One to Greg Andrews and the other one to JT. Actually, the same message for both. Thanks for the friendship, and I'll keep you in my prayers. Go back. Okay.
Integrity.
No, too low. Okay.
Integrity.
Integrity.
Integrity. Wait, now.
Integrity. Here we are in the BWC Dining Commons with a lot of friendly faces from this year. And we're here with Martha Connor, and Martha's going to tell us an interesting highlight of this school year for her.
Well, I'd have to say that running against Belinda and Damaris was definitely a highlight. Running in their dust. Had a lot of fun times. I think Kelly Smith really made the year great for me. I'm really going to miss her next year. And I'm glad that she's getting married, and I know that she waited for Tom and that she had a lot of hard times when he was over there, but I'm just glad that she was my friend and that we had a great summer last year, and I got a chance to get to know her a lot better.
Okay.
Thanks, Martha. Integrity.
Okay, I'll be there in a second.
We're here with Delores Longenecker, and we're asking her today what she thinks about this year's food service.
This? I want some real food. I want to go home and get some real food.
Delores, just take a couple of sentences and tell us about your most exciting thing that's happened to you this year, or one of the highlights of your year.
Highlights of my year. And I'm gonna get out. Choir tour, and meeting all my new friends, and being Dale's sister. That's all.
Thanks, Delores.
Integrity.
Hi, Jen. Jennifer, what's your most memorable experience of this year?
I don't have one.
You don't have a memorable experience? What went through your mind on your first date of the year? And who was that with?
It was with a real jerk.
Jeremy Muller. I was the second one.
That's awful.
But your second date with me, what was that like? You're embarrassed?
Yeah.
Why are you embarrassed?
Is that thing off?
Yeah. Jennifer went out on a date with Jeremy Muller. That was her first date of her college career. And I was asking her about it. She just told us her true feelings about Jeremy. No, I'm just fooling. But I was her second date. And it was quite a delightful experience. Jennifer and I had a pretty good time. Went for a Jeep ride, went out to eat. And we've been in love ever since. Haven't we, Jennifer?
I guess so.
Okay. Gee, what a nice girl. Would you like to give us any memorable moments or anything you'd like to be remembered for here at Bartlesville Wesleyan College, other than dating Brad Burkhalter?
No.
No? What you want to be remembered for? No. Okay. Just to keep it between us or anything. She'll talk. We're here with Manny, Gonzalez, and Erin Westfall, and we just were wondering, Manny, the world wants to know, tell us about your most memorable date with Erin.
With Erin?
Yeah, me.
I think...
or with whoever.
No.
Well,
okay, with Erin.
I think this past weekend, Saturday, was my birthday, and she told me we were going to do something, but I didn't really know. So she came and picked me up around 6 o'clock, and was it 6 or 5 or something? And she took me to Tulsa, and we kind of got lost. She was trying to find this place we were going to go to, and I didn't know. I thought we were going to go to some restaurant or something. But we were driving, and she stopped and asked for directions, how to get there, and so we got there, and it was River Park. Is that the name of it?
Oh, that's cool.
Park.
Riverside Park.
That's cool.
And she got out this basket and this blanket and this whole deal, and we had a picnic. We had a very nice picnic, and I think that's the nicest birthday present I ever got. And plus that, she gave me a real nice jacket. And from there, we went to the movies, right? And we watched...
You picked it.
What's the name of it? Green Card, because I don't have my green card yet. And so, we liked the movie, it was fine, then we went back home, and that was pretty much it. But it was
Erin, was this your most memorable date as well, or do you have another experience you'd like to share with us?
I'd have to agree that it was that one. It was fun doing it, planning it.
And exactly when you first saw Erin, or Erin, when you first saw Manny, what was your thoughts when you first arrived at campus? And here's Manny Gonzalez. What were your thoughts?
We kind of thought the same thing about each other.
Yeah. Nah, she thought I was a geek.
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
I thought she was hot. I was crazy about her the first time. First time I saw her. She was in my comp class, and I looked at her every day. She never looked at me.
No, he did. Never. I always looked at him. He didn't even know I was in there.
Wrong.
I see. Well, here we have a lover's squabble, but hopefully we'll get it worked out. There you go. Thank you, Bob. Back to you. Okay, anyway. You're on, Brad. Okay, we're in the cafeteria here with the man in the middle and the quick man out front, Derrick Richardson. Tell us real quickly, how'd you feel about this year's basketball season?
Good question. Very good question. You go first, sir.
You go first.
No, I insist. You go first.
Well, despite the fact that, our coach had left, and I think we did a real nice job, and then the fellow students, and they all came out to help out a little bit, and us being seniors, and I think we played real hard. We did all we had, and won the best record, but I'm satisfied. You know, no injuries, and thanks to Dr. Manis. Thank you, Dr. Manis, for you know, doing what you did. You know, it's kind and generous, and good job.
Do you have anything you want to say about the season, or?
Yeah, despite our record, it probably really doesn't reflect our effort we put into the season. But then again, it probably does reflect our effort. But we tried our best. You know, 10 and 16. It's nothing really to brag or write home to your mom about, but it's what we could do.
What were you? You guys would be interesting. Both of you guys transferred from junior colleges, right?
I'm from Dallas. I went to Mesquite, Eastfield. It's in Mesquite, Texas, Dallas, suburb of Dallas.
What was your first impressions of BWC?
I came late, you know. I guess one of the guards, they didn't make it. You know, they grades and the coach needed a point guard. And Slade Young, a former player here, and my junior college player, he called me, you know, told me that the coach needed a player, and he was telling me about me. And I came up, and I didn't know anything about, you know, the school and all, but it's okay, it's all right, you know.
What were your first impressions, Milt?
Well, my first impression of BWC was a very good impression. I don't know.
Am I assuming that the impression has changed?
I'm still satisfied with the academics here at Bartlesville Wesleyan College. Very good academic program. You know, one of the best in the state, you know, if not the country, I can say.
So what are you guys planning on doing here after you graduate here?
Well, I graduate in May, and I'm going to go back to Houston and see what lies ahead as far as job opportunities, and maybe I'll come back up to Oklahoma and see what's happening here, but just working.
Well, I'll be graduating in December, and I'm practically in the same boat as Melton. I'll be going back to Dallas to see what lies ahead for me.
Okay, in one word, describe the food at BWC.
In one word? What about 4 words?
No 4-letter words, but what 4 words would be fine.
Well, 4 words. Marshall tries his best. Good. Good.
For me, let me think of a word to say.
One word?
E.
Okay, see you, Bob. Light goes on right now.
Integrity.
Okay. What was C.C. Callahan, the most feared defender on the basketball team? You're the big man in the middle, Milt. C.C., tell us, in a couple of words, what you feel about BWC's housing up there where you're living.
Housing. Well, let me tell you, I got birds, a bird nest on the other side of my wall.
Okay.
See, I wake up to those sweet summer sounds of birds chirping.
Okay. Do you, how do you feel about the basketball season? How do you feel about that basketball program now?
Well, now or over
looking back over it?
Well, since I've been here, I've been involved in one of the best seasons, one of the worst seasons they've had. So I've seen the both sides of the coin, and I think the program is moving in the right direction. It's staying consistent with the goals of the school, but it's also putting a very competitive team on the court every night.
What would you like to be remembered for? When you look out there into the video viewing land of all the people at BWC, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I would like to be remembered for a feared, bodacious dunk down the middle of the court. But being as I didn't ever do that, I guess I would be like to be known as a player that always hustled, and as a Cress player that always did something to influence the outcome of the game.
What was your first impressions of Claudia Fly when you first came to school here?
Well, my first impressions of Claudia Fly, I liked her.
You did it? And do you still? Thanks, CC.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Integrity.
We're with Sean Bonner, maintenance man at BWC, known for driving the truck and mowing the yards. Golly. Sean, when you first came to BWC, tell us your first impressions of Bartlesville Wesleyan College.
My first impressions were the friendly people and the hot weather.
Okay. If you could describe the food at BWC in one word, what would that word be?
Edible.
Edible? Okay, that's a good word. Claudia Fly. I mean, how can we describe her? Describe Claudia Fly for us in a few short words.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. and personality and spirit.
Great integrity.
Great integrity. Hey, great integrity. All right. Well, Sean, if you were going to be remembered for any one thing or anything by the BWC students, what would you want that to be?
Discipline and hard work.
Discipline and hard work. There you have it from a man on a mission. Okay, go ahead. Hola, amigo. We're here with Prudencio.
Brad knows.
Yeah, that's the only Spanish I know, Prudencio.
Okay.
We're here with Prudencio. Prudencio, tell us, when you first came to BWC, what did you think?
Well, I have a pretty good idea what the United States could be in when I was in home, but I realized that to be in this campus, specific in Bartlesville, was for me a new experience to see a lot of people together and listen English. That was a big change for me.
What was when you're obviously you're learning English as you got here, and obviously the word that you would first use to describe Claudia would be different from probably the word you use now. But when you first impressions of Claudia, if you could describe Claudia in a word.
Yeah.
You say it in Spanish.
Gringa gorda.
And translated means?
American fat.
Maybe we should have translated. So is your I can't do it anymore. Come on now. Has your opinion of Claudia changed at all over the last couple months?
Well, you have to ask her if she's in that now.
Oh man.
I hope you know how to edit.
We know. Yeah, he edits it.
Okay, my turn?
No, just a minute. We got to get something here. Who's that out there, Bob?
White guy. He's spitting things at the fish. Okay, for Brad, wrong.
Is there anything, Francio, is there anything you'd like to say to the people of BWC as kind of like a parting words, or?
Yeah, thank you very much for your friendship. Thank you to open the doors for myself and to accept my culture as Fidencio. I feel very accepted for the American people, and I try to show the best of my culture, the best of myself, and mostly try to find friends, and that was a hard work for me. And if I want you to remember me as Fido is a very good compliment for me.
Fido, there you have it. Bob?
That's Jen.
We're here, Philip Quinn, the Antiguan in the Caribbean. Phil, is there any difference between the BWC lake and the Caribbean Ocean?
Yep, there's a lot of difference because one thing, this lake is very dirty.
Very dirty.
Mm-hmm. The ocean is crystal clear. And
is there? Oh, what thing? Phil, tell me who your favorite professor is.
Favorite professor? Oh, I think it's Prof. Rogers.
Can you imitate him?
No.
Okay. Phil, tell us, what is your greatest memory from Bartlesville Wesleyan College? And before you while you think of that one, answer this question: if you could sum up the food here at BWC in one word, what would that word be?
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Profound.
no. To sum up the food, okay. Well, extravagant.
Okay. Phil, if there's anything that you could be remembered for at BWC, what would that be?
Well, let's see. For my friendliness and just trying to make more friends with different people. I want to be remembered for that.
Any memorable moments? Anything anybody'd like to say hi to out there? Guess not.
Manrique, yeah.
Manrique.
My
Okay.
former roommate.
Hi, Manrique.
Take care, Manrique, and good luck. Have a safe trip back home.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. We're with Bubba Smedley, Music Man. Oftentimes his stereo is heard thumping the walls of the mod loudly. I'm his RA. Bubba, tell us your first impressions of BWC.
The mods suck, basically.
How do you feel about your housing? Is there, tell me your first impressions of say, Claudia.
I have no first impression of Claudia.
Any impressions now, later on, now that you've gotten to know her a little bit, that yours weren't on?
I still have no impression.
No impression of Claudia. But if there was one thing that you would want to be remembered for here at school for this year, what would it be?
My intense work at the Learning Center.
Your intense. By the way, we heard that you guys work pretty hard up there. What exactly is generally, how much time do you put in up there in a week, you say?
Oh, 15 hours I do.
Okay. And that's real work, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Brad.
Okay. Bubba, what's the number one thing, number one subject here at BWC for you? What's your favorite subject?
Subject.
Besides the women, Bubba.
Psychology of abnormal behavior.
And do you find a lot of abnormal behavior here at school?
You find a lot of abnormal behavior here at BWC.
Personified, I would imagine.
Yes. Personified. Extremely.
Anything you'd like to say? Any closing comments? Anything I'd say to the people viewing this evening, or this afternoon, or whatever time you happen to be watching this? Any closing comments?
Let's see. That Brad Burkhalter is actually that goofy.
Thank you, Bubba. I'll take that as a compliment.
All right, go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Integrity.
Hi, Bob. We're with the girls right now, and they have absolutely nothing to talk about. So we're going to talk about the fact that they have no social lives. As far as what they have talked about is that they watch soap operas a lot. The problem is that they're not sure which one is which since they watch so many, and it's a little bit hard to keep up with all of them. In fact, Sherry, don't you particularly have a problem with this?
Yes, I do, because I don't watch them that often.
What would be your favorite soap opera?
I don't know the names of them.
So you enjoy this about as much as you do your real life?
I would say yes.
Who is the cutest guy on the soap operas right now?
Oh, gee. Well, I only watch 1, 2, 3, 4. I think just 2. Who would be the cutest? Yeah. I don't know his name.
I don't know. Shane Donovan.
Shane Donovan on Days.
Or Frisco Jones on her. Ask me, I'll watch them all.
What else do you guys want to talk about?
Talk about...
What?
Nothing exciting to think of something Sherry's done. She hasn't done
What's the worst thing you girls have done this year?
Worst as in what?
Walked across the grass.
That's an Alisa answer. I can't tell you.
Living on the edge.
I've done this year.
You don't want to say.
Not on camera now.
Okay.
we'd be.
Well, yeah, what was your first impression of BWC?
You mean way back to my freshman year?
That would be the first time you were here.
Well, okay, the first time I ever came on this campus, I met Bob Hubbard.
What did you think of Bob?
I can't say on camera what I thought. No, I'm kidding. It was a rainy day in March when I first came on campus, and Bob took my mom and I on tour, and it was like it is now. I have to kind of laugh because we always, now when I give tours, we walk around and everybody's like, who is that, who is that? And that's kind of how it was. But Bob was very nice to us, and I could tell that most of the girls that we walked by were just falling in love with him, and I just kind of laughed at that. But anyway, that my first impression. It was a great place, and I really liked it a lot. And I pretty much still hold that same view.
Alisa, what was your first impression?
My first impression, well, it was a long, long time ago. So it was when my sister was here. And I really never saw much except her room on the mall.
What did you think of her room?
Her first room, well, the first room I stayed with her in was in the mods. Humble. It was very humble. I really like the cottages, though.
I didn't know that. I think everybody knows that.
How about you, Jen?
Well, I'm kind of the same. My sister was here, and she stayed in the mods also at different times, but we all came down, my whole family, and there's 6 of us all together, came down to visit my sister, and we couldn't fit in the room because it was too small. But I thought the people were really nice, and they didn't mind us looking around or doing whatever we wanted to do.
How about you, Sherry? What was your first impression of BWC? What stands out?
The first person I met was Sean Anderson, so I can't say it was real positive. No, just kidding. But I pretty much enjoyed it. I wasn't going to come just because. Hi, Sean. And so I wasn't going to come here just because I didn't want to have relatives down here. But I really enjoyed the people I met, and I think Sean's okay, and that's about it, just because he's standing there.
Oh, girls, yes. Okay, Sherry, want to tell us a little bit about your dating life here at BWC?
No, I don't, thank you.
Jen?
Zilch.
Alisa?
Ditto.
And Sandy?
Sandy.
Varied.
Varied. Okie dokie. Well, that's life on the cutting edge at BWC.
Yeah.
Thank you, girls. Okay, Bob, now we're with a couple of girls who have a very serious habit. It seems to me that they're addicted to Cherry 7-Up, and they couldn't get a hold of any here in Bartlesville, so they had to travel quite a distance to get some and would use their last penny to buy Cherry 7-Up. You girls want to talk about this? This is the best way to get over something like this. It's the first step is admitting that you have a problem.
Well, I wouldn't say we really have a problem because we hadn't had Cherry 7-Up since like high school. At least I hadn't.
See, they're still in the denial phase.
No, really, we didn't go to get the Cherry 7-Up. We went to go see a dollar movie, but we kind of got lost on the way, and we're late for the movie, so then we tried to see another one, and we missed it, so we ended up buying a Cherry 7-Up and going home. And we had scraped our last pennies to go to the movie in the first place.
So you turned to Cherry 7-Up for consolation.
That's it.
Yeah. So you're not just social drinkers?
No.
I see. It's a pity.
Anything else?
You guys want to talk about something else now?
No. I'm feeling kind of dumb now.
Anybody want to say goodbye to or hello to?
How about let's get even say integrity for us?
Oh, yeah. Say it together, say integrity.
Looking at the camera.
Integrity.
Integrity.
Claudia.
You want to do it together now?
Ready?
Integrity.
Okay. Now we have David with Catalina Magalina.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
I can't.
Go ahead.
Catalina Magdalena, hooch side of wall side of Hogan, Logan, Bogan, what's her name?
She had 2 teeth in the front of her mouth, one pointed north and the other one south. Catalina Magdalena hooped side of wall side, a holding bone was her name. She had 2 ears like sails on a boat, her Adam's apple moved up and down her throat. Catalina Magdalena hooped side of wall side, a holding bone was her name. She always washed faces white and clean, there ought to be a cloudburst for Magdalene. Catalina Magdalena hooped side of wall side, a holding bone was her name.
Yay.
We.
Thank you. Staff, no faculty.
Faculty.
Well, you think it's going to rain today?
That's a good possibility. It's looking kind of cloudy. Yeah.
This is one of the most important issues in your life at this time, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially during finals, yeah.
Any messages for your children 20 years from now?
We'll have no children. No. No,
Do you have any messages for your neighbors' children 20 years from now?
Yeah, keep them out of my yard. But besides that, no.
Okay.
Nothing else you want to say to anyone?
Bye.